Now, when it comes to television production, this man knows it all. When it comes to documentary producing, he knows it all. When it comes to just being behind the scenes inside the industry, this man has a first-hand glimpse at everybody and everything that you ever want to know. I done talked to him on many occasions myself, where he done shared a lot of game with me that helped me be able to do what I need to do. And I'm gonna let you take it from there, Cho.
Well, my real name is Arthur D. Alston III. I'm a producer, director, started off as a videographer, writer, editor of television, film, video. I started off in the industry, modeling and acting, and started doing a lot of music videos, commercials, TV shows, and how I got into the videography is I was doing like a lot of videos like Nas, Hate Me Now, Mobb Deep, Lil Kim, Quiet Storm, Remix.
You did it?
No, I'm in these videos as when
really
modeling and acting. Huh?
You are in that video?
Yeah.
That's my song right there.
Eve got it, man. A bunch of videos, but I started getting a passion. What I did was I was doing these videos, so I was around all these cool rappers and everybody, so I started bringing a video camera on the set and started shooting behind the scenes, and that's how I got into being a videographer. And I kind of lost the passion of being an actor by being behind the scenes. So from there, I started shooting at this club called The Tunnel in New York. I documented everybody from Jay-Z, Snoop, Nas, Dre, Method Man, Redman, Leah, Missy, Timbaland, anybody that in the 90s that had a platinum record, I probably shot them at the time. DMX, all the way down the line. I did that, and I had a public access show called Street Farm TV. It was me and a few other guys. We had this show that we ran in the 5 boroughs on public access. If you don't know what public access is, that's like it's a way of getting your show on TV, on cable, without going through the cable network. If you live in a certain city, you could contact the public stations, and you sign up, it's free. They may make you take a class or whatever, but if you're into trying to have your own show, this is a quick way of getting your show on TV without going through the majors. You know what I'm saying? No matter how good it looks, if you go sign up for a public access show and you're a producer or a director, or you just got an idea, you got a show and your friend got a camera, this is a great way to start, where it's free. They'll let you use their equipment. You don't have to have no equipment. You know, they'll teach you how to edit. It's all free. It's government funded type of thing. So we did this show for years, and our show format was live performances and interviews. We'll shoot their performance when they come off the stage. We'll run backstage, get their interview, or interview them before they get on stage, and then shoot the performance. Most of the time, probably try to interview them before, because after the performance, they want to drink and whatever and get out of here. So I did this show for years, maybe from 95 to about 99. Then I left them dudes and got my own show called Live Music Channel, which was on Fox and the WB. I'm gonna speed it up. From there, I started putting out the content that I had on VHS. Back then it was VHS. I released the Tunnel Volume, no, Tunnel 2000 was the first one I did. I took a bunch of performances from different artists and a bunch of interviews, and I merged them together along with like B-roll of people partying in the club, dancing and everything. Put it out on VHS. It did good. I would take them, get like 1,000 made, go, back then we had the one stops. A one stop is like a wholesale spot for film and TV or whatever. Like the mom and pop stores go to the one stops to get your CDs and your videos or whatever. So from there, I did 3 of those volumes, and then the format changed to DVD. So nobody was buying VHS no more. So I couldn't sell the VHS no more. So I went and I re-edited and re-released it now on DVD. And I dropped all 3 at once. It did good. Same thing. I just got on the road. I drove from New York to California, stopped different states, dropping them into one stops, independent distributors. Never did a deal with nobody. All straight cash coming straight to me. Then I dropped a fourth one, which was in around 2001, the end of 2001, going into 2002, which was a Jay-Z concert that I shot at the Tunnel. And that was the best of Jay-Z, Tunnel 4, the Tunnel's closed, Volume 4, the best of Jay-Z. When I was putting that out, I went to Rockefeller and asked them, do they have any trailers for Paper Soldiers, Backstage, Paid in Full? These are the things that they was promoting. They had the trailers, and I was trying to take them and put them at the beginning of my DVD to help promote them, because I'm getting money off of Jay-Z. You know, one hand washes the other type of thing. Dane was like, yo, let me see it first. So I gave it to him. He like, you did all this? You packaged this up and artwork and everything yourself? And I'm like, yeah. He was like, produced it, directed, edited it? I'm like, yeah. He was like, you want to work for Rockefeller? And I was like, when? He was like, tomorrow. I was like, he's like, we're going to De La Hoya fight in Vegas. Sugar Shane Mosley was fighting Oscar De La Hoya at that time. And I was like, yeah. Next day, I was on a private jet and started documenting Rockefeller. I did over probably like 30 commercials for different albums. For the Dream Team, Paid in Full soundtrack. I did 10 at once, where each artist had their own commercial and they all was running. Stayed at Rockefeller for 3-4 years, quit because Dane was trying to take a lot of credit for the stuff that I was doing. Stuff would come on TV, I see it on BET, show aired, finished airing, everybody got credits but me. You know what I'm saying? He taking the producer credit, the director credit when I did it. That caused me to almost get in a physical fight with him. Dudes broke it up, I quit, I left. People was like, yo, you crazy, why you leaving Rockefeller? This is when Rockefeller was the top of the food chain. I didn't care because I got tired of this dude mouth. If y'all know his history, y'all know how his mouth is. So I quit, left, wound up getting hired at BET, producing Rap City. Produced Rap City, 106 in Park, and BET Now, specials, commercials. I left the
Now, question though, Cho, as a producer for BET, what was it that you looked for in the talent that you brought onto that show, and as far as just trying to really make that show go? Because we got a lot of folks here that are producers, talent, and they want to get into the same thing. So what was it that you saw in different folks that helped you to say, you know what, this person needs to be on this show and stuff like that?
Well, most of the time with BET is like, it's more corporate. You know what I'm saying? So if Jeezy's dropping the album, then he's gonna come to, he's gonna campaign. That's what I call it. They campaign. He's gonna come to BET, he's gonna go to MTV, he's gonna go to Spotify, he's gonna go to these different places. My album's coming out, my album's coming out, my album's coming out, my album's coming out. In most cases like that, they calling us. Saying, yo, when can we come through? Or as me as a producer, I might say, like Cash Doll or somebody, like, yo, she's not signed to no major with her, but I'm like, yo, this girl's hot. You know what I'm saying? Yo, we need to get her on the show. Then I gotta convince these people why this girl need to be on the show, and that is the hardest sell. You know what I'm saying?
Talk to me about standing up on your integrity at the same time, because that's what basically we talk about in here all the time. When it comes to what your vision is for that show and that product that you're trying to put together, how did you go about deciding, you know what, this is worth fighting for today?
I'll give you two examples. One was when C Murder was on, had got his appeal and was trying to come out. Like, I wanted to do a show with C Murder. And, you know, some of the producers like, man, why you want to help that dude? Man, he a murderer, this, that, and that. I'm like, how do you know he did it? Like, everybody that knows him say that he was innocent. They got surveillance footage of the guy doing it. Like, you getting caught up in the stereotype of his image and not looking at him as Corey Miller.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? You looking at C Murder, the tattoos, this, that, and the other, and this dude is locked up for something that he didn't do. You know what I'm saying? So that was a fight because I got another dude like me telling me, yo, don't put this dude on the show in front of my superiors, and they listening to me. Now I gotta convince you in front of them why he's good for the show.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Another situation was the Hurricane Katrina telethon we did, the SOS. This is when I realized that we don't control nothing. Don't think because it's black entertainment television that you're going to go in there and save your black people, because I thought that. You know what I'm saying? Oh, I'm going to educate them. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to educate the youth. And no. This is a system, like, real quick, the Hurricane Katrina telethon. We did this thing, me and this guy, Lee Harris, we sat around, we came with this idea, yo, we should do a telethon. Right? So we shot it to Penny McDonald, who was my creative supervisor at the time. She's like, oh, we ain't doing no telethon. Hell no. You know what I'm saying? And this is like the greatest idea in the world. And I'm like, she's bugging. So I'm like, yo, shoot it to Stephen Hill. Stephen Hill was the president at the time. So Lee's scared. Nah, I ain't going over Penny yet. Man, shoot this to Stephen Hill. You know what I'm saying? Shoot it to Stephen Hill. He like, oh, this is great. Y'all love it. This, that, no. He is Penny. Yo, we doing this. She come to us. Don't y'all ever motherfucker go in my head again. You know what I'm saying? But we got it done, right? Yeah. So we get all this footage of everything that's going on. People dying, people floating in the water, right? Mm-hmm. So this is the package, you know, that we put together. The real thing, like Spike Lee did years later, we had this ready for the telethon. So when, you know, Puffy came, Rihanna came, Mary J. Blige, Queen Latifah, everybody supported this. We raised over like $10 million just with this idea, right? When we go to air these packages, a package is a bunch of footage showing what's going on, like you see on the news. You know what I'm saying? The day that the show's supposed to air that night, some guys come in the office, I swear to God, like the Men in Black, dressed like the Men in Black. Some white guys come in. Now this is BET, right? They come in, they make us all leave, they watch everything that we did. They come back out, they talk to our boss come in, and she say, y'all gotta scrap all that. Y'all can't show none of that. And we like, this is the real stuff. This is what's going on out there. Like, this ain't made up. And they's like, nah. So that day, I knew that we don't control nothing. We don't control the images that go out to our people. You know what I'm saying? They didn't want us to let people know what was really going on. Why? Because maybe, like Kanye said, George Bush don't care about black people. That's where that whole thing came from. You know what I'm saying? That was that. You know what I'm saying? But that showed me that media is controlled. You know what I'm saying? That's why when y'all watch the news, I figured this out years later. I've been doing this 22 years. You ever watch the news and you click to another channel and it's the same news? And then the weather come on at the same time, the sports come on at the same time. It's all programmed for us to get what they want us to get. So don't ever think that you're gonna go and work at any network and come tell what you think you want to tell without it being overlooked or supervised. Because it's like the news come from one source, and it's like a one sheet, and they send it right here. And then this go here, and this go there, and this go there, and this go there, and this go there. But they all saying the same thing, but in different ways, but they can't never say what they want to say. You're never going to be able to say what you want to do in TV, unless you create your own thing, which is kind of good now with the internet, but now then they can flag you or whatever.
Talk about being an entrepreneur in this time and age right now, though, Cho, and how do you feel like it's allowed you to really be able to get your stuff off now, like with the tunnel and being able to just really put out your own kind of content?
Well, I mean, right now being an entrepreneur is the best thing that ever, because, you know, with the internet, like growing when we first started, like I said, I didn't have the internet, so it was VHS, DVD, you know what I'm saying, like that way. On the internet now, you can stream it. You can start your own website. It's simple. GoDaddy.com and the website builder. You can do that all yourself now. It's very easy. But for me, I always maintain my independence. Like I did 7 titles. I got a documentary out right now on iTunes and Google Play that I did myself. That I didn't do a deal with nobody. I split it with iTunes. It's $13 for the film. I get $10. They get $3. You know what I'm saying? There's no Columbia. There's no Sony. There's nobody else getting a penny from that. You know what I'm saying? So now you can do that with your music. You don't have to get a record deal. You don't have to go and sign a deal and give up your name, your rights to anything. You know what I'm saying? All you gotta do is do the research, you know, figure out what you wanna do, whether it's clothing, if it's fashion, same thing. Don't be like, there's a lot of designers here, because I work in fashion too. There's a lot of designers here that they get clothes made here. If you want the best for your money, don't be scared to get on a plane, go across seas, Japan, China, India, wherever it is, and meet your own manufacturer. Don't try to go and make a shirt here that's gonna cost you probably $200 after you figure it out and get a tailor to design it, a designer to design it. Like somebody made this for me. You know what I'm saying? It takes somebody to design this, somebody to get the fabric, somebody to sew this, to go get the zippers, the buttons, and all this stuff. And it probably cost this girl probably $150 to make this jacket. When if she went across the seas and met the right connect and built the relationship with somebody and come back, and all you gotta do is deal with them from email after you go and meet them, and you ship them a sample of what you want, and they ship it back. They like it, you like it, boom. This same thing, once it's finished, you probably get these for like $5, $7, if you got that connect over there. You know what I'm saying?
Question, show. On another note, RHO, Real Housewives of Atlanta, as a producer, because these folks, they want to get into television producing too. Talk to them about some of the stuff that you got to do over there as far as controlling the narrative and making sure that show go like it's supposed to go.
That show's a whole nother animal, right? I've done a lot of reality shows. I've done Lisa Ray, The Real McCoy. I've done Knockout, a boxing reality show. But The Real Housewives of Atlanta, it was just a whole nother experience, because you have a company that's supposed to have X amount of people carrying out X amount of duties, and then they want the producer to come in and carry out all those duties themselves. Like, as a producer, I shouldn't be scouting locations, but that's a part of their job description. You gotta find the locations that we shoot at. So every time you see a scene where they go have a drink, get their nails done, whatever it is, we have to sit down and find these different locations. Now, this show been on TV for 10 years. Where is the place to shoot in Atlanta that they haven't shot at? But they always want you to find somebody. And it could be 9 o'clock at night, and they want to shoot a scene with Portia tomorrow. They just came up with the scene now. They want us to find a spot for us to shoot the next day. It's 9 o'clock. Everything closes 9, 10 o'clock. You know what I'm saying? Some business closed earlier than that, you know? But that's something that you got to do. There's no time limit, you know what I'm saying? I'm talking 12, 16-hour days, you know. They want you to pry into the talent's life and then come back and report it. You know, so you gotta let them know what's going on in their life, so this way a story can be structured to hit television. Basically, so either you could be the nicest person and bring back what you think is good, or you could be the most evilest person and be going over there digging all their dirt and bringing it back. And the dirt is what they gonna want. And this is why people get embarrassed. This is why fights happen. This is why people, secrets come out, this, that, and the other, because it's you that bring the information that causes all this stuff to happen. So, and then you gotta sit through a bunch of conversations, and then you gotta write everything down that they talked about, because people like Andy Cohen ain't there. So he need to know every shoot, what happened. So you gotta sit down and write everything that happened and send it to them as in a book or movie form, not just word for word. They wanna entertain it. You know what I'm saying? You gotta sit down and say, hey, these two people had a fight because so and 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 so. And she had on doing this and and they want all of that, and you doing this every day for 6 days a week. And that's just half of it. That ain't even the other half of it.
But tell me the part about it that you love, though, Choke, because you've been down with it a long time. So, I mean, you've been able to see the world. You've been able to meet some amazing folks. Tell me about that part of the story to wrap it up for these folks so they can understand exactly why you got into it and why you still doing it right now.
I mean, the best thrill for me is just taking something that's in my head that is not nowhere and writing it out and eventually seeing it on TV, on the theater, on the internet, from something that was just a thought in my head that nobody, like I can see something in my head and tell it to you, but it's easier for you to watch it. If I say, yo, you know, think about this, and don't ever think that any of your ideas are crazy, because remember, it was this one little kid that was telling his parents, yo, I got an idea about this dude that get bit by a radioactive spider, and he becomes Spider-Man. And he runs around town in blue and black pajamas or red and black pajamas, and he spin webs through his hands, this, that, other. That shit sound crazy as a motherfucker, right? But look at Spider-Man now. It went from comic books, toys, movies, various movies. You know what I'm saying? This same little kid came up with the X-Men. Hey, these little kids, they all running around mutants. Can imagine somebody, your kid telling you that. It would be the craziest thing in the world, right? But look where it came. Black Panther. You know what I'm saying? These are ideas that's in somebody's head that if they said it to somebody, may sound crazy as, you know what I'm saying?
Now, also, Choke, I hate to cut you out one more time, but lastly, there's a lot of folks in here that want to get into the industry. So what is it that they need to know, and what is it that they need to do to be able to go out here and kick some butt?
Education first, or you getting robbed.
Thanks.
I'm telling you, like, look at Lil Wayne. You think if Lil Wayne would have went to school earlier? I haven't seen this kid out here since he was 14 years old. He was in the clubs in New York. If he had his education, he would not be robbed by this man right now. You know what I'm saying? He would have did something different that he not owe 30, 40 million dollars right now. You know what I'm saying? He went to school late, but by that time, it's too late. You already locked into these contracts. So I say, hey, get your education first so you know who you're dealing with. If you're in the music field, you want to do music, and you want to sign to a label, if Puffy want to sign you, don't let Puffy tell you who your manager, your lawyer, or your accountant is. Because that's probably his manager, his lawyer, and his accountant, and he gonna rob you. You know what I'm saying? So if you're in music, you know, get your own people. If you're in music, don't hire your mother to be your manager. Just because you trust her, she ain't out there, unless she's in the clubs, networking every night, getting these contacts, unless she got a degree in business management, unless she graduated from Harvard Law and entertainment law, then you shouldn't be hiring your mother to be your manager. You don't hire your homeboy just because you trust your homeboy to be your manager. You find the best person for your career that fits the job. Don't do it out of friendship, because they ain't gonna do nothing. Stay strictly to your business. If you want to come into any if it's film, if it's TV, if it's fashion, if it's music, the thing that's gonna make you strong is your resources. You know what I'm saying? Networking, going out to not all the parties, but all the parties that
Matter.
matter, that makes sense. You know what I'm saying? If you gonna go, if you're in film and you're a producer and there's a party going on and there's gonna be other party producers there or distributors there or actors there, then you should be there. You know what I'm saying? If you're a singer and there's producers there, DJs there, people from the record label there, you should be there. If it's fashion, you should be at New York Fashion Week. You should be at the Magic Convention in Vegas. You should be building with different designers and tailors and trying to find out who has the cheapest manufacturing for you to get your product. You know what I'm saying? Other than that, the key to it is networking. The more people you meet, the stronger you get. I've been networking my whole career. This is why I'm successful, because I don't have to go through the channels of the chumps that be trying to block you and make you do things that you don't want to do. You know what I'm saying? To advance. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of that. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna get a lot of women. You're gonna get men trying to sleep with you. Men gonna try to get men trying to sleep with them. You're gonna get all types of ways just for you to advance. You ain't got to do none of that. You know what I'm saying? You build your network by going out and meeting people. It's nothing to run up on somebody. Don't never get intimidated by somebody or get fanned out. If you sing and you see Rihanna or you see Beyonce, make your way to them. If the security stop you or somebody stop you, then fine. But you never know who you can talk to. You know what I'm saying? You never know. Don't never be intimidated. Don't never be intimidated. I don't care who it is. Michael Jackson moonwalking down the street, tripping, like, yo, Mike, I need to talk to you. You know what I'm saying? If you serious about what you want to do, don't never be scared to approach somebody and talk to it. If you feel like you want to, I want to work at Fox, go there. Just find out who you need to talk to. You know what I'm saying? If you want to get your music placed on a TV show or something like that, look at the credits and see who's the music supervisor. Contact that person. You know what I'm saying? That's all you got to do. Build your network and get and practice your craft and get tight at your craft, whatever it is, and just keep going hard at it. That's all I can say.
Joe, appreciate you, man. Oh, I know a lot of y'all got.
Anybody got questions?
Yeah, do you have an email?
Yeah. Choke no joke. CHOKE.
Wait. You said what now?
CHOKENOJOKE@gmail.
What would you say is the difference between, like, I know you said you had that situation with Dame and you felt like he wasn't being professional enough with you. So what do you think is the difference between, like, being not too dedicated to your work, but being too attached to it versus keeping your integrity or having
Anybody that want to leave, y'all know class over with. Everybody staying, y'all stay.
So, one more time?
What's the difference between having integrity for your work and being too attached to your work?
I mean, having integrity means, to me, in your work, is if you know something is supposed to be the way that it is, then don't change it. You know what I'm saying? But if you got various people telling you, you're welcome. You're welcome. If you got various people saying the same thing, and you the only one saying it, then then you probably too attached to it, and you might want to take their advice, and it might come out better.
Thank you.
Anybody else?
Thank you.
You're welcome.
What do you like better, working in the music industry or like the TV industry? Like, more so?
I like the music because it took me. I did a lot more traveling. I mean, I did do traveling with the TV, you know, because they might go shoot different places or whatever. But the music is global. You know what I'm saying? The music is global.
Did you always know you wanted to work in this industry?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I really always wanted to be a director, you know, more than anything, but yeah.
Where you say you from again?
The Bronx, New York. Edenwald Projects. Where you from?
Coney Island.
Coney Island, Brooklyn?
Would you say it's like easier now? Well, now everybody says it's easier to get into the industry because of the internet, but it's concentrated too. Like now, it's a ton of people flocking to get in, whereas before it was probably like more controlled. So, pretty much like, what's your opinion on that? Do you think it was easier than like in the 90s and 2000s to pretty much make a name for yourself? Or do you feel like now, due to technology, it is actually easier, even though...
Nah, it's definitely easier now because back in the 90s, you couldn't just, like, there was no internet. So I was millions of people all around the world going to hear or see your stuff. Back then, you had to send a demo to the record label, and your demo went in a box of hundreds of demos. So you got to, you know, you had people that would, I was at Rockefeller, I would see people that would stand outside every day and rap for people until they caught somebody's attention.
So you did the Hard Knocks Life tour?
No, I came there after the Hard Knocks Life tour, like when Paid in Full was going to come out. And Jay-Z, Blueprint too, that was the album.
The video with James Dash going there cussing out everybody in the office.
Yeah, I did that.
What was your favorite project?
My favorite project?
You don't like that.
Oh God, I don't have one. Like
What your most memorable?
I mean, Rockefeller was probably my most memorable time because of, you know, documenting the breakup between them two, along with, you know, the lifestyle of, you know, flying private jets everywhere to London, Paris, Italy, Amsterdam, South Africa, all over the U.S., you know, just that lifestyle, and then staying at, you know, all these prestigious hotels all around the world, and, you know, hanging out with Victoria Beckham and Naomi Campbell and Giselle backstage at the Dolce and Gabbana fashion show during Fashion Week in Milan. Like, I did some crazy ass things that, you know, if I die right now, I live my life. You know what I'm saying? So, I don't know, Rockefeller was good, BET was good because, you know, Rap City is something that I grew up watching. You know, it's been on TV 25 years, you know, before it ended. You know, even doing the Housewives, you know, that was big for me.
You don't do it anymore?
I mean, the season's over.
Oh, well,
it's
yeah.
airing now, but, you know, they start filming in October. But I don't know, I may go back.
Back then and now, like, how you feel about, like, the music, the content? Like, we don't got Rap City, like, we don't got 106 and Park, we got, like, podcasts now. We had Everyday Struggle, but, like, that's dead now. Like, how you feel about now, like, what's something you really, like, look at, pay attention to?
I don't know. Honestly, I really don't watch TV. As far as the podcast go, unless it's something that really happens, that then I need to go and watch it. I really don't focus on it because I'm such a creator that I don't like watching other people's stuff because I don't want to influence the stuff that I make. You know what I'm saying? So, like, if I'm doing music, I'm not gonna be listening to nobody's music. You know, if I'm trying to create TV shows, then I'm staying away from TV because I don't want none of the stuff that I see to influence what I'm trying to do because I'm trying to be so original. You know what I'm saying?
Now, you see how, like, up north, like New York, it's like everybody say for real, it's like closed in, nobody help each other. Atlanta, everybody helping each other. If you could go back, like, and you see how, like, Atlanta, down south area is, like, booming, would you stay in the city or would you come down here?
See, the thing is, like, what you're saying is right. New York is definitely divided. You know what I'm saying? But don't get it twisted. Atlanta is divided too. It may seem like it's like everybody's getting along, but it's just a lot of Atlanta big artists that be hanging on other Atlanta artists. You know what I mean? But then there's also this thing where there's people in the industry that have done things to advance that other people haven't, right? So, me being one of them. So I can't hang with certain people, or they can't hang with me because they in this circle of people that they do things that if I saw it, they wouldn't want me to see it because I'm not playing in those reindeer games. So for me to be in this circle, I would have to be moving how they move. And if I choose not to move how they move, then I'm not gonna be allowed in that circle. And this circle is the people that you may think are the most successful people and have the most money and everything else, but they did things to get in this circle that may
Similar
not
to a
sit.
fraternity.
Yeah, that may not sit right with the average person. You get me? So you might be the most talented person in the world, and you might get to that door, and depending on what your decision is to go through that door, people may never see you again. That's why you may say, yo, what happened to so-and-so? Or what happened to so-and-so? Because they got, it ain't really blackball, it's just that, let's just say if it was worshiping the devil. If you're not gonna worship the devil, then you can't be in the
So you real
hundreds
life
of millions
believe
club.
like a lot of artists like Illuminati, you real life believe that?
Yeah, that shit is real.
Wow. I mean, well, is that it?
Nice to meet you. Thank you so
Nice
much.
to meet you.
All right now.
All right, take care of that. It's very real.
King.
It's a pleasure meeting you.
Oh, you quit.
Joke, no joke. Clark University. Be high.
Appreciate it, Choke.
Talk to the students. This is what we do.
1,000, boy.
Yeah.